The choice of toys, aside from safety concerns, should match the child's emerging abilities. It has to be age appropriate.
When you are playing with your children, make sure that they are in a safe environment. These toys, if you buy them, make sure that they are non-hazardous.
Children learn more about themselves and the world around them through play. In fact, studies show that it improves their cognitive, physical, and social well-being. And it's just a natural way for them to be happy. With the gift-giving season fast approaching, we'll help you choose fun and educational gift ideas for children of all ages. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and welcome to MedTalk Health Talk. Children learn so much in their first few years of life. And as they grow, they learn all sorts of abilities in different areas. Now, here to tell us how crucial this is in the growth of a child, we have with us today behavioral and developmental pediatrician, Dr. Isabel Kilendrino. She's from the UPPGH and Diliman Doctors. Hello and welcome, Isa, to MedTalk Health Talk.
Hello, Dr. Freddy.
Let's talk about play. Play is important in the development of a child. Should this be encouraged by parents? Play, learning, and developing.
Play is actually the main occupation of children, and it allows them to experience the world in a fun and safe way. So through play, children discover how the world around them works. They learn, gather information about things that they see, that they hear, and that they smell. So initially, they explore the world through their senses. So it is very important because play impacts on all the areas of child development.
Let's talk about these areas of child development that play not only touches, but it enhances as well.
There are 4 main areas, or what we usually call domains of development. And the first of them is motor development. And this pertains to how children develop their physical abilities and how they move about and use their bodies to navigate the space around them and manipulate things. While social, emotional development pertain to how they start to connect with others, understand emotions, and also express them effectively to others.
Okay. Now let's focus a little bit on the motor aspect of this. What kind of play actually enhances or develops the motor ability of a child?
There are different motor abilities that emerge at different ages, so that the impact on each domain will be different across different stages. So in infancy, for example, infants enjoy playing with toys that they can put in their mouths, that they can touch, they can look at, and that they can make sounds with, for example, by hitting. So hitting is already a motor skill. And when they discover that different intensities of hitting can result to different intensities or frequencies of sound, that already leads to some thinking, discovery, regulation. Now, in older infants, they enjoy playing with toys that they can throw, that they can move around with, like big balls or push-along toys like the wagons.
You mentioned how different ages of infants are expected to do different things. Some parents might be concerned because they find that their child isn't doing what is expected for their age. Should parents or guardians be worried right away, Doc Isa? Or what are some of the concerns that should maybe prompt them to seek an appointment with a behavioral and developmental pediatrician?
Though the pace can vary significantly across different children, development actually follows a predictable pattern and sequence. The attainment of developmental milestones, which are age-expected tasks, are the clearest and easiest indicators for parents to follow to make sure that their children are developing on track. So, for example, much awaited milestone, of course, in the infancy period is walking alone. Luckily, the milestones checklists are usually found in their baby books. There are a lot of milestone trackers already, even apps that parents can use to monitor their child's development. When there is something that might be off, So parents start to question or become concerned when the child is not yet showing the age-expected task or milestone. Or it might not be delayed, but the quality is different. They can always raise the concern with their pediatrician first or their primary healthcare provider. So the general pediatrician, their primary care provider, can perform a screening or take a more detailed history, dig into whatever might be causing that, and if it's warranted, a referral to the developmental pediatrician is actually made.
Okay, so do you have any final words, final tips for our viewers, especially those first-time parents who are worried, they want to do best in order to get the most out of developmental years of their child?
In the early stages, play is usually solitary in infants, but they learn to respond to others through the initiations of play with their parents. So parents have to understand that play is eventually learned as a social activity. So parents don't have to worry about buying the most expensive toys or buying so much of toys. It is the quality of the play and also the social interaction that is facilitated in the play activity that is the most important thing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Isa, for sharing your expertise on this topic. Now, aside from motor skills, there are toys out there that develop your child's cognitive, social, and emotional needs. More on this when we return, so stay here on MedTalk Health Talk. Welcome back to MedTalk Health Talk. Now, Christmas is just around the corner, but are toys the best gifts that you can give your kids this holiday season? To tell us more about that, please welcome Dr. Claire Pio Quinto Doble, pediatrician here at Pio Quinto Pediatrician Clinic. Hello and welcome, Dr. Claire.
Hi, Doc Freddy.
When it comes to gifts for kids, are toys the only thing that we can give our kids that are most beneficial for them?
Toys are really great gifts, but they can serve as props lang. When you want to bond with your child, as a parent, you want to play and you want to give your child something. But do not use this as a main entertainment for your child. Okay, there are a lot of ways that you can bond with your child. You don't even need to buy expensive toys, or you don't even need to take them to expensive places like the activity centers. All you really need is to spend time with your child and then find ways to help them develop their cognitive and social emotional development.
I think that's a good point you make. Toys are there as add-on. But what are some activities that parents can do, lalo na yung mga first-time parents who are really excited in trying to raise their kid right? What sort of activities can they do that promote bonding, as you said?
I have a lot of parents who are first-time parents and they are so worried. Are their children going to grow up to be smart babies? I always advise them to take it one day at a time. The activities that I advise usually are, you can start reading to your babies. You don't even have to buy books ng mga fairy tales. You can even just read them newspapers. It's not the message that they're going to listen to, but it's the tone of your voice, it's your facial expressions. That's what's going to help them develop cognitively. And at 8 to 9 months, matutulungan mo din sila with their development with, just play peekaboo or hide and seek. As simple as that. And at toddler age, you can start role-playing or yung pretend play games.
There's an adventure there, but the most important part there is that the parent is involved.
Definitely.
With that in line, the advent of technology nowadays, Dr. Claire, a lot of parents find that using technology as a substitute or maybe as a stopgap for their presence is easiest to use. And what I'm talking about here are gadgets. When it comes to gadgets, when it comes to technology, what's your opinion on this? Is there an age na masyadong young para magkaroon ng gadget? Is this really helpful for a child's development?
You have to limit a child's screen time. So the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that at the age of 0 to 18 months, 0 screen time is allowed. But there is an exception. You can have screen time as long as it's a video call with your parents, with your grandparents. That is allowed. So that is okay because there's an interaction. 18 months to 2 years old, 30 minutes of screen time nila should be supervised. It has to be good quality shows. But again, you cannot use your screen time as a babysitter.
Let's talk about nutrition when it comes to kids, because we're talking about their emotional development, their cognitive development, their physical development, but we also have to talk about the nutrition so all of this can go the right direction. So when it comes to nutrition ng mga bata, totoo ba, Doc Claire, na kapag bata, you can pretty much feed them anything since bata pa naman sila?
When it comes to feeding, a child has to have a good relationship with the food because ang daming mga cases of feeding difficulties lately. So it starts from infancy. Definitely you have to introduce different types of food sa kanila. You cannot just limit their intake, their nutrition because you're afraid na, ay hindi pa pwede to, baka mag-allergies, I'm not gonna allow them to eat eggs muna, not gonna allow them to eat peanut butters. Definitely you have to start that before 1 year old. Because at 1 year old, kaya na niya dapat kumain. And if hindi mo siya na-introduce earlier on, there's a chance na magkakaroon talaga ng feeding difficulty yung bata. Ideally, for a healthy diet, for a toddler, it has to compose of 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and kung kaya, i-incorporate yung snacks in between.
I'm sure that's a lot of information, especially for first-time parents, but they should have a good relationship with their pediatrician para mag-guide sila. How often should parents visit their pediatrician to have their kids checked up?
I instruct my patients to come every month. That's together with their vaccines. Newborn period pa lang, sinasabihan ko na sila, this is what we're gonna do. Every month, we're going to give you your scheduled vaccines, and at the same time, we're going to talk about your concerns. Sa child's health, we're going to measure the baby's weight, the length, and then we'll talk about how to feed properly, how to help a child's development, and other things that they have concerns like cough, colds, and rashes.
So everything there is to know about their kids, your pediatrician has the answer. Later, after the break, we will talk about what toys are actually good to give your child or your toddler. So keep it here on Med Talk, Health Talk. Welcome back to Med Talk Health Talk. For many children, Santa Claus and gifts come to mind when they think of Christmas. To give us some great Christmas gift ideas, please welcome back pediatrician Dr. Claire Pio Quinto Doble. Hello and welcome back, Dr. Claire. Now, Dr. Claire, when it comes to actual gifts, ano ba yung talaga yung maganda? What are advisable to enhance that emotional development, physical development as well that we were talking about earlier?
It's important that you buy your children age-appropriate toys. So for example, during infancy, they are involved in so many areas of development, learning how to use their body, their gross motor skills, their fine motor skills. They're also learning how to use their eyes, their vision. So it's important that when you buy toys, it has to be durable. Pwede nilang gamitin ng matagal. Also, an important thing is, kailangan matulungan din yung development ng bata. You can buy them books already because pwede mo nang gamitin yan. Later on, at 2 to 3 months old, yung focus nila, they like high contrast colors. So you can buy them books that are high contrast, in particular red and black books.
So even if they can't read yet, it's good to buy them books for other stimulation.
Yes, definitely. It will stimulate their visual development. During later stage naman, I really like yung mga high chairs because they can use it until toddler age. So at 6 months, pwede na nilang gamitin yun. Kung kaya na nilang, as soon as they're able to sit upright, you can already put them there para makakain na sila. You can also put the toys in front of them so that they can explore the toys. Also, I like teethers. Kasi para maturuan sila. It's not just to soothe their sore gums. It will also help them develop their muscles to help them chew. At 1-year-old toddler age, I like yung mga puzzle games, like yung mga stacks.
Do you advise that parents buy the toy that their child gravitates towards?
Well, initially, syempre, at an early age, they still don't know what toys they want. But towards toddler age, you can take them to the mall. You can let the child choose the toys that they want. Because you don't want to be forcing your child to play with something that is not going to like. Kasi parang masasayang and masastress yung parents na parang, why doesn't he like this toy? So, pagkakaroon ng strain din talaga.
Right. Because a lot of parents think that, that some of the toys that they might choose may be inappropriate. It might be to have so many different facets of it na hindi pa bagay sa kanya. But then, we also want to touch on how you should let your child explore. Could you tell us a little bit something about that? Like, for example, with this toy right here, in trying to develop a child's motor development, should the child be able to explore and play with this toy on their own, or dapat may guidance muna with the parent?
This is good for their motor skills. So you can also teach them language here. You can demonstrate the toys. Initially, you have to demonstrate talaga because kids like to copy you. So you can say, okay, you can take this off, take it off, put it on. So that's a language development opportunity. So you can put it on or put it on top of your head. So parang ganon. You can just be very creative with whatever toy. It doesn't even have to be any particular toy.
Now, when talking about toys, this is definitely a good toy. We see it has a lot of bright colors. In terms of safety, what should parents know about pagdating sa safety? A lot of parents are seeing news about toys that are toxic and whatnot. Talk to us about that.
First rule of thumb is a toy has to be big. Think big with children. As a general rule, dapat yung toy mo cannot fit inside a tissue roll so that if they put it in their mouth, hindi nila macho-choke. It's not gonna be a choking hazard. Another thing is you have to read the label. It's dun mo makikita what the toy is made of. So you have to buy in reputable stores, definitely. Look at the label. Sometimes they write there, non-toxic. You have to look for the non-toxic labels. Stay away from toys that are made with BPA, toys that have lead in it, which is very neurotoxic. It's bad for the brain. There are also plastic toys that are made with phthalates, that are made with PVCs and polycarbonates, so definitely have to avoid.
What about toys that contain batteries? Are there any safety concerns that parents should know about?
I do not like toys with batteries. Mahilig kasi magbuting-ting yung mga kids. Not even just batteries though. Toys that have body parts that can come apart. Pwede nilang maswallow, pwede nilang ilagay sa mga little holes nila, like sa ears, sa nose. If you put a battery inside your nose or your ear, pwedeng mag-corrode yan. And it can cause may pagbutas ng septum, which sometimes is irreversible already.
Okay, the very good advice definitely for the safety. Now, what about DIY toys? Mga homemade toys?
Sometimes, mas maganda pa nga actually yung DIY toys. Pretend play na games. It creates so much bonding with the whole family. So for example, yung superheroes, you can use your blanket, use it as a cape. All you have to do is be creative, really.
Doc Claire, that was a lot of great advice from your expertise, of course. But before we go, do you have any message, especially for the parents out there who are still wondering what to give their child for Christmas?
I know it's definitely hard to keep an eye on them 24/7. So there will really be times when isusubo nila yung mga toys. But if you have toys around them that are safe, then you don't really have to worry so much. And finally, you have to remember that toys are not vital in forming a core memory with your child. So you will always be the best motivation for your child to learn, to grow into the potential that they can be. So remember that you will always be enough.
Very good advice. Thank you so much, Doc Claire. So this holiday season, while toys are great, the best gift that you can give your child is your time and your love and good parenting skills. I'm Dr. Freddy Gomez, and thank you for joining us here on Med Talk Health Talk.